Awesome. Okay, we're doubling down. We're going to get lots of work done today. Okay, but we'll start with one. So just place your balls down on the ground, and we're just going to start with the feet. So trap the ball underneath the ball of your foot, heel on the ground. Lean in, put a little pressure on, and then lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften the top of your foot, and lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften the top of your foot. Lift off just a little bit, but keep that gentle pressure on, and now start to swish the foot side to side. Awesome. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to move it to the middle of the foot or the ball of the foot. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften over the top of the foot, and then lean off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften over the top of the foot, lift off. One more time. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften the top of your foot, and then keep that bit of pressure on, but lean off, and now swish the foot side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side, and then pick it up, follow the foot on the ground, trap the ball underneath your heel, lean in, put a little pressure on, and then lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, and lift off. Nice. One more just like that. Lean in, put a little pressure on, lift off slightly, but keep that gentle pressure on, and then swish your heel side to side. Great. And then start to roll your foot nice and long from the big toe line all the way down to the heel, and then work second toe line down to the heel, third toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe. So just move on down in a pattern that works good for you. Put as much pressure on as feels right. Once you feel like you've kind of got the foot warmed up a little bit, you might choose to move in a little bit more with the body weight and kind of let your body weight move with you across the ball. Nice. Do one more roll up and down, and then we're just going to come back to the ball of the foot, to toes in the ball of the foot on the ground. Bring the ball underneath your heel, push in, and then just kind of swish that heel a little side to side. I think I said the ball of the foot, but I meant the heel. So, so take one more little swish, and then set that foot down. Before we go over to the other side, take a nice big breath. Reach your arms up and overhead. Bend your knees a little bit. Reach down towards the ground. Notice the back of the leg that you were just working on, or the foot that you were working on, and then notice the side that you weren't working on, and see if there's any subtle variations there that you can feel through the backs of your legs. And if you don't notice, don't worry, just take a moment to just tune in. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll on up, and we're going to take that all to the other foot. So keeping the heel on the ground, we're going to place the ball underneath the foot, lean in, put a little pressure on, soften the top of your foot, and lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, soften the top of your foot, and lift off. Beautiful. Lean in, soften the top of your foot, and then keep it there, but lean off just a little bit, swish your foot side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to move it on up to the center of the foot. So heel on the ground, ball at the center of the foot, lean in, put a little pressure on, and lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, and lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure on, lean off just a little bit, but that slight bit of pressure, and then swish your foot side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to take it back into the heel. So toes and the balls of the foot on the ground. Lean in, put a little pressure onto the heel, and lift off. Lean in, put a little pressure onto the heel, and lift off. Lean in, put some pressure on. Keep a light bit of pressure, but lift off slightly, and swish your heel side to side. Nice. And then we're going to take it into that long roll. So work the line of the foot. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. And then if you feel like the foot is warmed up and it wants that little extra, then maybe you take your body weight with you just a little bit, lean into it, put as much pressure on as works good for you. Nice. One more roll up and down, and then take it back to the heel of the foot. So toes and the ball of the foot on the ground, put a little bit of pressure on, and then swish your heel side to side. Awesome. One more swish side to side, and then step that foot off. So both feet on the ground. Take a nice big breath. Arms up and overhead. A light bend to the knees. Hinge from your waist. Fold down towards the ground. Just go to a depth of a fold that works good for you. And then take a second to notice. Notice the backs of your legs. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to come down to a seated position. So if you like, step one knee down and then the other. And then we're going to spin those legs out and around. So our legs are out in front of us. And then we're going to start to work into the calf a little bit. So just using one ball for right now, place that ball underneath your calf. And then we're going to take it down a little bit close to the ankle joint and then start to find that swish. So we're going to draw the toe from side to side. So we internally rotate and externally rotate and just try to drag that ball across the back of the calf. Nice. And then see if you can find the middle of that space. Let your calf muscles soften around the ball and then just take your toe, draw it in a couple of circles, go in one direction. Take your toe, draw it in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. Foot comes to stillness. We're going to move that ball on up. So think about coming towards the middle of the calf so we get into that meaty part of the calf and then back to that toe drag. So turn your toe in, turn your toe out, and let the ball just drag across the back of your calf. Nice. One more drag across and then find that middle portion of the calf muscle. And there you might find it sits in a little bit of a groove. See if you can find that little groove and then let the muscles kind of soften around the ball. Take a second to find that. And then if you found a sense of softness there, then turn your foot in circles, go in one direction. Awesome. Turn your foot in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then foot comes to stillness, lift up and then move it up just to the top portion of the calf and then come back to that toe drag, turning in and turning out. Beautiful. One more drag side to side. And then we're going to pick that ball up. Now we're going to take both balls around the top of the knee. So you're going to bend that knee and now you can slide your left leg long if it feels a little bit more supportive. But we want to be able to cup the balls into the hands, push in towards that muscle. So the muscles that sort of wrap around the top of the knee, push in, put a little gentle pressure on, and then draw a couple of circles. Go in one direction. Draw a couple of circles, go the other way. Nice. And now we're going to take that action and start to move down the thigh. So you're going to start to move down towards the hip crease, I should say. So move it up maybe 2 or 3 inches, push in, draw some circles in one direction, push in, draw some circles the other way. Move it up another inch or 2, push in, draw some circles in one direction, draw some circles the other way. Nice. Move up again, push in, draw some circles in one direction, draw your circles the other way, and then come up as high as you can. So we're really getting up to that top part of the thigh, push in, draw some circles in one direction, and then draw your circles the other way. Nice. And then we're going to come back to one ball, but down to the other leg. So we're going to place that ball underneath the calf where it's getting close to the ankle joint. And then once you've got it there, take your toe and then draw that line. So we turn in and we turn out and just let that ball drag across the muscle of the calf and try to keep the calf muscle as soft as you can. So you let the ball, you might feel that kind of little ribbony texture of the muscle against the ball. If you find any spots that need a little attention, you can always pause there and kind of mush around on it a little bit and then see if you can loosen it up. Nice. One more drag side to side. And then come to that middle point, soften the muscles around the ball. And then once you've found that bit of softness, turn your foot in one direction. Beautiful. Turn your foot the other way. Nice. Foot comes to stillness. And now we're going to move it on up. So find that middle part of the calf And then for a second, just let the muscles soften. Once you feel like you're there, take the toe and drag it, turning the toe in and turning the toe out. Nice. One more turn side to side and then come to the middle. See if you can find that little groove in the center of that calf muscle, calf muscles. And then once you feel like you've found that little bit of a groove, circle your foot in one direction. And circle your foot the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift off, move that ball on up one last time. Come back to that toe drag, turning the toe in and turning your toe out. Beautiful. One more little toe drag side to side. Find that middle, soften the muscles, circle your foot in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. And then foot comes to stillness, lift off, grab that ball, and now we're going to take it back up to the knee. So bend your knee, both balls in the hands, put a little pressure on. So we're going to find that muscle that's just around the kneecap and then push in gently, draw some circles in one direction. Draw your circles the other way. And then move on up, maybe an inch or two, push in, draw some circles in one direction. And draw your circles the other way. Awesome. Move up just a little bit. And you might notice as you're doing this work here, this is a little bit of a 2-for-1 special because as you're working the muscles in the thigh, you are also getting a little massage to the hands. Circle the other way. Nice. And then move on up just a little bit. And circle the other way. Awesome. One last time. Move on up just as high as you can get. Circle in one direction. And then circle the other way. Beautiful. Now we're going to take it back over to the right, but we're going to use both balls. So we're going to get up nice and close to the side of the glutes. You're going to take both balls, just place them up against the hip and then let your knee drop out. And then we're going to lean in just a little bit. So you might go elbows and forearms down. We're going to lean in just to the point where your tailbone kind of wants to lift up off the ground and then bring it right back down. Lean in, let your tailbone kind of lift off the ground. And then right back down. One more just like that. Lean in, let your tailbone slightly lift off the ground, bring it back down. And then we're going to take all of that to the other side. So just pick those balls up, tuck them right up against that left hip, lean in just a little bit, elbow and forearm down. And then we're going to lean onto the ball so the tailbone just barely lifts up off the ground and then off back down. Lean in and lower it down. Nice. One more just like that. Lean in and lower it down. Beautiful. Lean off, grab those balls. Now take the one ball, single ball right underneath that right glute. So we're going to place it right underneath the butt. Leave the other ball off for right now. We're going to push into the hands so that we can lift off. And now we're going to draw some big, generous circles. So you're going to move around that ball, glide around in a way that works good for you. Let your legs help support this movement. Let your arms help support this movement. If you find any spots that want a little attention, you might choose to stay there. If you find any spots that are super tender and zinging you, you might stay off of them, work alongside them a little bit, and then maybe move on to a new place. Nice. And then see if you can find a center, someplace that the ball can kind of settle into. And then can you set your butt down, extend your legs nice and long, keep that ball underneath your bum, and then swish your toes a little side to side. Beautiful. One more little swish of the toes side to side, and then lean off, grab that ball. We're going to take it over to the other side. So place that ball underneath your left glute, bend your knees so that you're able to support it with your legs, support it with your hands. And then once you've got that lift off, draw your circles, draw your lines, any little bit of movement here that feels good to you. Cool. And then see if you can find that center, that nice meaty part of your glutes that you can sort of settle onto, soften around the ball, Walk your feet nice and long, keeping that ball underneath your glutes. Give a second, let the muscles relax. And then once you feel like you're there, just a little swish of the toes side to side. Nice. One more little swish of your toes side to side, and then lean off, grab that ball out from underneath. And now we're going to start to find our way down onto our back, but we're going to use both balls to come all the way down. So scoot your butt forward, lower yourself down onto your back, and then we're going to lift the butt up, placing the ball so that it's right at that low back area. We're going to keep our hands underneath as well, just so that we keep a little bit of light support from our hands. So with that, with the balls, and I'm going to lift up just so you can see where I am on the ground. So I'm right above the tailbone, alongside the edges of the spine, and I've got that my hands to help support just a little bit. And now with this position here, see if you can let a little bit of body weight come onto the ball. See how that feels. If it feels okay, now you're going to take it into a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So you're going to tip the tailbone up and down at a slow and gentle pace. If you need to rearrange your balls, place them anywhere that might feel better, but if it feels good, take one or two more rocks up and down. Awesome. And then we're going to push into the feet, lift the hips up, and now we're going to move the balls away from each other. So we're going to just come a little bit wider across that area. Settle your back onto the ball. See how that feels. Hands are there to help support just a little bit. And then once you feel like they're in a nice place, come back to that pelvic tilt, tipping the tailbone down and lifting it slightly. Nice. One more little tip of the pelvis, and then we're going to toe heel the feet out just a little bit wider, so our feet are going to help anchor and support us here. Now see how it feels. If you can push your weight into your feet so that you're lifting off the balls just slightly, can you remove your hands from the balls? And then think about there's a marble at your hip points, and now you're just trying to drop the marble from hip point to hip point. So you're going to feel the little massage action of the balls moving gently side to side. You might have to reposition them. Sometimes they get a little squirrely and go out of place, but if you can keep that nice little gentle rhythm, rock side to side. One more time each side, and then we're going to lift the hips up nice and high, maybe even walk your feet in so that they're a little bit more secure. And now we're going to start to work our way up the spine. So we're going to come up into the low back area. See how that feels. You might choose to keep your hands under there to help support a little bit of that body weight. But if it feels okay to remove your hands, see if you can lower your tailbone down. It's going to create a little bit of a back bend sensation. Make sure it feels like a safe and comfortable position to be in. Let your tailbone relax down. You're going to feel that little arch in your back. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. With a bit of control, curl your tailbone up, push into your feet, lift your hips up. We're going to move the balls up just a little bit. So think moving up about an inch or two. So we're still working along those muscles that run down the length of the spine. We're not on the spine. We're on the muscle tissue that runs along the length of the spine. Once you feel like you're in a good position, let your tailbone soften down. Take a second. There's going to be that arch in the back. Notice how it feels. And then from here, we're going to toe heel the feet just a little bit so we can bring some mini windshield wipers. So it's not a big grand movement. It's not our big full range of motion windshield wipers, but just a gentle swish of the knees side to side. Make sure it feels comfortable on your back. If not, you'll leave the windshield wipers off. One more little swish of the knees side to side, and then step your feet in just a little bit closer so they're back to that hip width distance. Lift up, move the balls up another inch or two, and then settle down. So now you might be coming a little closer to that bottom edge of the shoulder blades. So notice where the arch of the back changes a little bit. You might have had the arch of the back in the lower back, and now you might be finding the arch coming up into that thoracic spine or that upper middle back area. So now with that position, let your arms open out nice and wide. Take a second to just invite some softness into your belly and into your hips. Take 3 nice deep breaths. No big movement here, just take a nice big breath. One more breath. And then we're going to see how it feels to push into the feet. You're going to contract the abdominal muscles so that you can pick your head up just a little bit. Can you curl up your tailbone? Can you lift your head and chest so you got the pressure of your whole back onto those balls, and then glide yourself up just a little bit. So we're going to see if we can make a little bit of a gliding action. So we're going to glide up and down the ball just to the point that feels good to you, but we're going to keep a slight sense of control in the abdominal muscles. You can also bring your hands behind your head if that feels like a good way to go to just support the head and the neck. Beautiful. One more little glide up and down. And now we're going to move up into the shoulder blade area. So if you can glide up, cool. Now, once you've got the balls in between the shoulder blade area, still in the muscles that run alongside the spine, with the hands behind the head, we're going to lean back and then come back up. Inhale as you lean back. Exhale as you come up. Beautiful. 3 more just like that. Inhale, lean back. Exhale to come up. Last one, and then we're going to move up the shoulders. So if you like, push into your feet, glide up the ball, and now we're getting up into that top part of the shoulders. So find a place that works good for you, settle into that position, and then set your butt down, hands behind the head, lean back, and then lift up. Beautiful. Lean back and lift up. Lean back, stay in that softer position. See if you can release your hands from your head. Let your arms float up and overhead, just like a nice long reach or like a good morning stretch with the top half of your body. And now we're going to take those arms in some nice big circles. So we're going to circle down towards the hips, circle them out nice and wide, and then back up and overhead. So take a couple of big giant circles in this direction. Great. And then take those big giant circles and go the other way. Nice. And then we're going to move up one last time. So you can glide up the balls or you can move them manually. That is totally up to you. I like a little pressure on and then I just glide up those balls. So we're going to get them up towards the top of the shoulder. So now as high as you can, keeping those balls still underneath the meaty part of your shoulders. Reset your butt down. And then we're going to come right back to those arm circles. So stretch your arms up and overhead and then swing them around in those nice, big, generous circles. Slow and steady. Cool. And then take your circles and go the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly roll over onto one side. Take your time as you do so. And then we're going to come up to a seated position. So maybe Sukhasana, legs crossed, but really any seat that works good for you. Find an arrangement that works well. And then we're just going to come back to one ball. And if you're wearing glasses, maybe just take a second to set them off somewhere safe. And then we're going to work the chin and the jawline. So placing your ball into your hand, start down close to the chin, draw a couple of gentle circles, go in one direction. Circle the other way. And then we're going to start to do a little glide up towards the ear and down towards the chin. And you can choose to move the ball or move your face, and you just move in a way that works good for you. Awesome. And then the next time you come up to where the jaw meets the ear, put a gentle pressure on, draw some circles in one direction. Draw your circles the other way. Nice. And then we're going to move behind the ear. So find that little groove right behind the ear, put a bit of gentle pressure on, circle in one direction. Circle the other way. And then we're going to take it down right underneath the collarbone. So you're going to place that ball into that groove right underneath the collarbone. Opposite hand is going to put a little pressure on, and then that same hand on the side that you're working on is going to reach across, grab that elbow, and then pull gently in. Once you've got that little bit of pressure on, you're going to draw some little tiny circles with your shoulder in one direction. Draw little circles, go the other way. Nice. And then release, give that shoulder a little shrug, maybe wiggle your head a little bit. And now we're going to take it to the other side. So we're going to start down at the chin, put a little gentle pressure on, draw your circles in one direction. Draw your circles the other way. Nice. And then move up and down. So we're moving towards the ear and then down towards the chin. And I'm going to switch to the other side just so I don't hit my microphone. Awesome. And then the next time you come to where the jaw and the ear meet, put a little pressure on, draw your circles in one direction. Draw your circles the other way. And then take it behind the ear, find that little groove, draw a couple of circles in one direction. Draw a couple of circles the other way. Nice. And now we're going to take it to the collarbone. So I'm going to switch over to the side that you guys are working on. Place that ball in that groove of the collarbone. And then opposite hand is going to reach, push that pressure on, reach the hand of the side that you're working on across, grab that elbow, pull it in gently so you get a nice sense of pressure in that space, and then draw your shoulder in a couple of circles. Go in one direction. Draw your shoulder in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then release it. Take a couple little shrugs of your shoulders. And then we're just going to take it into the head and the neck. So drop your left ear over to your left shoulder. Maybe let your eyes close for a second. Let your head get nice and heavy. Roll your chin across your chest. Take your other ear over to your other shoulder. Let your ear get nice and heavy. Nice. And then roll your chin back down to your chest and just make a couple little figure eights here just to invite some looseness into the back of the neck. Loosen your jaw up. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift your head up. If you took your glasses off, put them back on. You guys are awesome. Be sure to drink plenty of water after doing all of that work. Woo! Double balls is awesome.